Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, Afrique Today. Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the Afrique Today app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
Black Holocaust Remembrance Day, Sunday, April 25th. Doors open, 1 p.m. Joe's Emporium and Culture Center, 3309 Bunker Hill Road, Mount Rainier, Maryland. Zoom access. Go to Najee Muhammad Facebook page. Scroll down to more. Click on link. Reparations. Guest speaker, Justice Nathaniel House, Illinois Appellate Court. Mecca Shabazz of the Afro-Descendant Nation calling forth ancestors. Salih Muhammad of the Afro-Descendant Youth Network. Keynote speaker, Afro-Descendant Nation Senate Chair, Senator Najee Muhammad. Address: America must fulfill its responsibility to Afro-descendants. America must pay reparations. Black Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Afrique Today TV presents every Friday at 7 p.m. The Voice of AAU, American Africans United. Host Dr. Yvette Butler Yaboa, MD, and co-host The Invisible Man. American Africans United is a membership organization, and our mission is to promote the idea that people of African descent have common interests, connected by citizenship, culture, and ancestry, and should be unified in our efforts to have and to build communities that are strong economically, politically, and socially. AAU's goal is to build bridges between African Americans, African immigrants, African Caribbean communities in the United States, and the African diaspora, so that all parts of the community can increase its capacity to have life and have it more abundantly. The Voice of AAU, every Friday at 7 p.m. on Afrique Today. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
and happy Friday. I hope you liked our new startup and our new commercial. Please remember, this is a large show. You can always advertise on Afrique Today, and we want to show your commercials and show what you're doing out in the community as well. And I want to thank you for coming on again every Friday at 7 with I'm your host, Dr. Yvette Butler-Yaboa, and
The Invisible Man.
yes, and we welcome you to the voice of AAU. And so we're going to get right into it because we have a great show for tonight. We have an unbelievable guest tonight, and I am so excited. As you guys know, we always start our show off with a little video. So we're going to show you a little video and clipping of this young man so you can get a feel of who he is, and something and more about him. And remember, this is a live show. Lines will open at 7:15, so you are able to call in and ask questions. But of course, we always have our questions that we would like to get in, so that we've had before. But we want to welcome you to the show tonight again. And without further ado, let's set the stage. Show our video.
I'm with Mr. Muhammad to help Mr. Muhammad because he's a serious man. I don't care. I've been in arenas where it's 10,000, 20,000. I've been out there with 500,000. I've been seen the biggest crowds out there. I've seen the biggest of everything. And I've come to the conclusion that 100 serious people can beat 10,000 or 100,000 disorganized people on anything. 100, I'll say 50. Don't you sit down in here today and hold your head down over no numbers count, because I'm here to tell you that numbers don't mean nothing.
Welcome back, and we are excited to have Malik Shabazz, author. Let me make sure. Malik Zulu Shabazz, who is an author, educator, activist, as well as a worldwide professional organizer. He is also the author of an amazing book. And I hope if you haven't had a chance to get this book, please go out today and get the book. You can order on Amazon, The Book of Khalid. And this actually is a true story, The Book of Khalid. If you don't know who he is, please make sure you go out and see who this young man is. And Attorney Shabazz actually was with him a lot of the earlier parts of his life and knows all about him. And so you get to see the true story. So without further ado, I want to bring our guest on, Mr. Malik Shabazz. Could you please join us? And we're excited. We're so excited to have you on today. And I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to have you on Afrique Today, the voice of AAU. So, Mr. Shabazz, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I didn't get a good bio, and I want to get this wonderful bio. I want to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much again. My name is Malik Shabazz. I am the author of the Book of Khalid. I am an attorney at law, and for 25 years I fought for civil rights, human rights, and I'm currently in the war against police brutality as an attorney on behalf of Black Lawyers for Justice. I have chaired and been the national chairman of the New Black Panther Party from 2001 to 2013. I am a professional organizer, and I have spoken on at least 37 college campuses throughout America, and I'm a full-time freedom fighter. And my book is about my mentor, who was one of the greatest freedom fighters of all time. That is Khalid Abdul Muhammad, former national spokesman for Louis Farrakhan and the first national chairman of the New Black Panther Party.
And we want to thank you so much. We need to hear a little bit more about him. And and I know you were with him for most of your young part of your life. And so tell me, why did you really decide to write this book? And tell us a little bit more about Dr. Khalid Muhammad and what actually happened with
Okay.
him.
Okay, Dr. Khalid Muhammad is the only American citizen, and certainly the only black man, to ever be officially repudiated and condemned by the United States Senate and the House of Representatives, the entire Congress. That's one distinction. As many deeds that Donald Trump did that were objected to, and as many things as Trump said that people were outraged about, never was a vote taken in the House of Representatives or the United States Senate to formally condemn Donald Trump. So Khalid Abdul Muhammad is a man who is greatly responsible for helping the Nation of Islam to rebuild in what's called its second resurrection. You saw the Million Man March, and if you know Minister
Yes.
Louis Farrakhan and his accomplishments, about one of
Oh,
his
yes.
key spokesmen and helpers that helped him to get to where he was. His name is Khalid. He's one of the greatest orators of all time. Anybody watches tapes on YouTube, he's a legend on the internet because he's one of the greatest orators and spokespersons of all time. Now, he makes an impression on me while I am a law student, while I'm an undergraduate student at Howard University. And so to those activists and young people who were watching, Khalid Muhammad became with me when I was just 20 years old. And he meant, and me being his mentee, I was able to be his helper through some of the most toughest, controversial times of his life. Khalid Muhammad, again, was not only repudiated officially by the United States House and the Senate and the Vice President of the United States. He suffered a suspension at the hands of the Nation of Islam under the leadership of Louis Farrakhan. He faced a similar crisis that Malcolm X faced in his career. He was assassination attempt was made on his life, and he was shot not long after he was repudiated and suspended. And he was shot and almost killed, unfortunately, by a fellow black Muslim affiliate named James X. Best. Khalid Muhammad eventually made his way out of the Nation of Islam, and you saw him in Jasper, Texas, leading armed new Black Panther parties after the beheading of James Best. So when you look around today and you see an armed black movement developing, black men carrying AR-15s and weapons and claiming the RBG, red, black, and green, a lot of credit to that goes to Khalid Muhammad. So these are just some of the things about him and some of the way I met him as a young student and an organizer, and going through the trials and tribulations with him shaped me greatly to what I am today.
Well, I watched some of his videos, and I was so impressed. I was so impressed with just some of his speaking. I sat there about 3 or 4 hours just watching some of his speeches, and I can see how someone is mesmerized by him and just wanting to just wanting to follow some of the messages, because he was such, like I said, such a great speaker and had a good message, and it was a message for all times, because look at the times we're going through now. And so tell me a little bit, why do you think you're qualified to write his book about his life's work, though?
Because I'm a witness. I'm a witness to what you say. He attracted me as a great orator and as a minister of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm qualified to tell you his story because I'm a witness to what happened, and I was by his side for 13 years. And I qualified myself by writing that book and spending those years and hours with the research. And with the help of my editorial director, Sister Renee Brooks, we qualify for this because we just do the labor and the work. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said history is most attractive, best qualified to reward our research. We rarely get good history books. We rarely get good biographies, and they're not easy to write. I would say when you read the book of Khalid, you will understand why. You know, it is because you have to put work and labor in. I put work and labor in to support Khalid Muhammad much of for 13 years, and I put several years labor into getting this book out because that's how much I love him.
Now, why was he so controversial? And could you tell us a little bit about him as a man and why was he so controversial? Because a lot of when I listen, a lot of what he said is true.
Well, he's known for his most controversial speech at King College, New Jersey, November 29th, 1993. That particular controversial speech was typical of many of Khalid Muhammad's speeches, but this one gained national and international attention due to the fact that he was a spokesman for Minister Louis Farrakhan. And Minister Louis Farrakhan had his own set of controversies as he rose to prominence as the premier black leader in the early to mid 1990s. And so Khalid Muhammad controversies deal and come in the context of Minister Louis Farrakhan's controversies. And they come into the and he comes into controversy because he went to a seriously elite white college campus, and he delivered the kind of truths that are only supposed to be spoken in back rooms and not told outright, especially to prestigious young white kids. So when Khalid Muhammad went to King College and he started explaining to them about the Pope of Rome and the wrongs of the Catholic Church, and he goes into not only the wrongs of whites, but specifically the wrongs of whites who say they are Jews, and he really goes into this thing historically from an academic perspective, a biblical perspective, a historical perspective. At King College, Khalid Muhammad, in this most controversial speech, he excoriates the historical and current oppressors and enemies of black people. And of course, he does it in his colorful, charismatic way. And he is a firebrand. He burns up everything. And so one cut, I wish we had it here, one cut from his, maybe we will have it before we go, from his King College speech at New Jersey will tell you why he's so controversial, because he's raw, he's uncut, and he makes people uncomfortable. And that's one of the reasons why he's loved as an icon today.
Now, are there any people who are currently to follow in his footsteps? And he was your mentor. Are you going to try to pick up the mantle? Is there anyone picking up the mantle where he left off?
Yes, we pick up his mantle today, and we have picked it up in different ways. I succeeded him as the chairman of the new Black Panther Party. So I mean, essentially, I was so zealous to continue his legacy. I even put part of my legal career on hold to further his black nationalist ideas. That's keeping up the legacy. Brother Hashim Nzinga was the chairman of the new Black Panther Party. He's another student of Khalid Muhammad. He served 7 years as the chairman after I did, before Brother Hashim passed. He keeps up the legacy. When you look across America today on the internet, when you see the new Black Panther Party, when you see the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, when you see black men that are black nationalists, that are militant, that that are active in the community. Some of them have weapons in self-defense. Many Muslims out there. Khalid Muhammad's influence is wide and deep, and that's why many people are benefiting from his book today. You know, we keep up his legacy. The new Black Panthers keep up his legacy. I keep up his legacy. He told me that Lorraine Hansberry said that the fight is on every front. He said the fight is in the street, the fight is in the classroom, the fight is in the courtroom, the fight is even down to the bedroom, according to the teachings of Khalid Muhammad. So what Khalid Muhammad's legacy all about is a determined fight for freedom, a determined fight for freedom. And we use all that we have, man, to fight for the liberation of our people and to fight the enemies of the liberation of our people.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want our audience to know this is a call. You can call in. So can we get the call-in number so people can call if they want to ask questions? So I do have some more questions, but we're going to get the call-in number just in case callers want to call in to ask you any questions. Now, I just want to just take a step back. The word militant. I have such a problem when we are just doing the right thing that we're called militant. We're just trying to survive in this country. We're called militant. I mean, what is your take on that? Because I don't consider myself a militant person. I consider myself as a person who, wants to survive, wants their community to thrive and have have the life that most other people have. What is your take on the word when someone is fighting for the rights of their people being called militant?
I think it's an honor to be called militant, to be honest. Militant means to be uncompromising and willing to take action.
Okay.
Uncompromising love for our people. It means to be uncompromising. So if somebody says you're militant, they're really saying, sister, you're strong. That means you're uncompromising, that you're not you don't, as Khalid Muhammad said, you don't scratch where you don't itch. And so there's a difference between being conscious and militant. Being conscious means to be awake and aware of what's going on. If someone calls you a militant, which sometimes the white media makes seem negative, but a militant really just means a freedom fighter and one who's willing to take strong measures to get what they need done across. For example, in white history, Patrick Henry was a militant. George Washington was a militant. And so some of the greatest heroes in white America were absolute white militants fighting for the liberation of their people.
Okay, so maybe I'll start looking at it differently because I'm always like, I'm just doing the right thing. So tell me, I just want to take a step back. Tell me, can you recollect an experience, the experience that brought Dr. Khalid Muhammad to Howard?
Howard
I know he
University.
came to Howard campus.
Howard University. What did you say there at the end?
No, because I remember when he came to Howard University.
Yes. Howard University is written about often in the Book of Khalid. And this can all be obtained at Khalid.com, the book of Khalid.com. Howard University is what was called the Mecca of Black education. In the you can go back to the 1960s. My alma mater produced such giants as Stokely Carmichael, who later changed Kwame Ture. Well, he's a product and a graduate of Howard University, and he fought the struggles for SNCC in the early to late 60s. Howard University is known for attracting all the top lecturers. Howard University produces the man here, attorney Malik Shabazz. Howard University received Khalid Muhammad well for at least 14 speaking engagements, and they were sponsored by myself as an undergraduate and law student activist. Howard University absolutely loved Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I mean, the students packed his lectures, they learned a lot from him, and they almost idolized Khalid Muhammad. And Howard University gets its credit in the book of Khaled. It's written about over and over again because
Yes.
key battles for freedom of speech. We had freedom of speech battles at Howard University. We had the issues of white outside control or even white Jewish control over a black institution. You had an internal dynamic of Pan-Africanists versus accommodationists, so-called militants versus so-called Uncle Toms, and student activists will love the book of Khaled because it tells about a young student activist that comes under fire at Howard University, but he stood up and he made it and graduated as an attorney today, but he came under fire, being and bringing in the most controversial Khaled Abdul Muhammad.
And I love you say Howard University, and it has a special place in my heart too as well. I used to teach and practice medicine at Howard University, so I say HU. When you said Howard, I said, "Yep, that is a real HU."
I hate to break up the love fest. I know both of y'all are in love with Howard, and so is all of Black America. But I want to ask a question, and you kind of touched on it. You went back to the '60s for a minute. Can you give the viewers the understanding of what is the importance of the new Black Panther Party in society today, and compared to when Dr. Khaled lived, and even at the time when there were chapters of the Black Panther Party throughout the '60s? Please, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Invisible Man. Let me see. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, this is Invisible Man.
Khaled Muhammad is called in my book a black nationalist prophet. And a prophet is one who prophesizes or speaks that which you will be able to see clearly in the future. When Khaled Muhammad was here and he was the head of the new Black Panther Party, and he was teaching hard against the evils of police brutality, such as the Million Youth March in New York in 1998. Khaled Muhammad was called too radical. Khaled Muhammad and his position on the police left him appearing to be an extremist, as Khaled Muhammad called for self-defense in the strongest measures against police brutality, and called for building of black militias and self-defense groups. He was ahead of his time. Now, 20-some odd years later, people are saying that Khaled Muhammad was right. Khaled Muhammad was right about white society not changing, the white system of government and policing not changing. Khaled Muhammad was correct that much stronger measures must be taken to achieve our freedom and independence. Khaled Muhammad said he believed in peace if possible, but violence when necessary, and when it's time to throw down, it's time to throw down. Well, it looked different 20 years ago, but last May when George Floyd was crushed by Derek Chauvin, police departments burned. All kind of mayhem broke out all over America as a norm. Things that would have been considered much too radical when he was here. So my brother Khaled Muhammad was ahead of his time. He laid a foundation in the new Black Panther Party that still exists today. And when you other black nationalist militant groups, you know that there's a root in the work of Khaled Muhammad. And it's needed today. You ask what's the need? It's an extreme need today to have a strong black organization that can be out in the field to help our people. Our people need so much help, and that's why the new Black Panther Party remains relevant. When I'm out in the field with the new Black Panther Party, I see young black men pull up to us at the gas stations, and they want a new way of life, and they're begging to join the new Black Panther Party. New Black Panther Party is a part of the establishment of self-defense, armed self-defense as a creed, a code, and a way of life in America. So you're talking about changing life, you're talking about self-defense as a way of life, You're talking about black people organizing to resist this establishment, to put pressure on this system, to bring heat on sheriffs, to bring heat on police departments, to bring heat against the enemies of our people. There's a lot of work to do for a new Black Panther Party and for all black organizations. We need black men on the scene. We need black men to get that 16-year-old black child who was about to stab another set of black girls. And we need black men on the scene that would have got there and diffused that long ahead of calling the white man to kill her. That's what we need more of in 2021.
Okay, using a
Now, I have
simple
a
word.
question that came
Hold
through.
on, Dr. Butler. Let me
Oh, go
ask you a
ahead.
question. Could you use a simple word to describe the conditions of justice for Afro descendants in America? One word.
Horrific,
Yes, sir.
horrific,
Yes.
dismal, outrageous, shame, you know.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr.
Yeah, I don't.
Butler.
I don't think there's just one word to say what's going on with blacks in the United States right now. I mean, right before you came on, I was watching young boy in Spotsylvania, um, Virginia, who just got shot 10 times by the police. I don't know if there's one word, and I think that was a trick question, a one word, because it's more than just one word. But I have a question that came through. Someone texted me and said, how do they get involved with the new Black Panther Party? I mean, how do you find out more about it to get involved as a young person who wants to be more active and creative in the community and part of the solution instead of the problems?
Okay, that's a great question. First thing you do is become educated so you can know more about this fight. So you go to the Book of Khalid, Khallid, the Book of Khalid.com, and you get that book so you can understand the background to the new Black Panther Party. Then you go to this website, BlackPantherMovement.com. BlackPantherMovement.com tells you about the movement and the Panther Party and how you can be involved and get involved. We're in over 40 cities and rapidly expanding. And we need black people and young black people in particular from all walks of life. BlackPantherMovement.com. I'm the chairman emeritus, and I'm today like a guide and a mentor and organizer to the party. If you like what I'm saying, if you like what I'm teaching, then you should go to BlackPantherMovement.com and you can be a part of the movement that I'm helping to organize all across America and the world right now.
Okay, wonderful. Now we have a caller that's called in online. You can see hear him. So caller, thank you for your call. Please state your first name, where you're calling from, and your question, please.
Sure. My name is Sam, and I'm calling from Silver Spring, Maryland. And my question was for Malik Shabazz. In regards to the new Black Panther Party that he's involved in, how come it hasn't caught fire the same way the Black Panther Party has in the previous years during the civil rights movement? And what do we need now currently to keep that fire, catch that fire, and keep the momentum going?
Thank you for your question. I think that if you search the history of the new Black Panther Party on the internet, you could say that many times the new Black Panther Party has caught strong fire. But I understand your question also to say is why isn't the new Black Panther Party recognized to the great degree that the Black Panther Party from Oakland was? First of all, I give full honor to the Black Panthers from Oakland, California. American society likes to romanticize movements that don't pose a current threat to them. For example, in the late 1960s, the Black Panther Party was heavily opposed, and mainstream America did not endorse them. After they have been terminated and assassinated by the government, they become in vogue, and movies can be made about them and accepted by white society. It's the same thing with Malcolm X. They didn't like Malcolm when he was here. They didn't give Malcolm credit when he was here, but once he's gone, and they can find a way that they could work with Malcolm. So I say still all honors to the elders. I would say the new Black Panther Party needs help right now. But if you know what I know, they're right there on the scene of every case we're talking about. We talked about this. You just heard about the Spotsylvania shots. Brothers shot 10 times in Spotsylvania. Well, it's the new Black Panther Party right now. National spokesman Sheikh Imam Akbar and Sister Lois, they on the ground right now with the family right there, out there in the streets with the people who are in a confrontation with the police right now. That's what a new Black Panther Party is. We're in Elizabeth City Saturday, where they just shot Brother Brown over there, and on Saturday. A couple weeks ago, I had a news conference on the police killing case of Dominique Williams here in Maryland, because I'm a police brutality attorney. And guess what? I'm still a Black Panther. So I'm just telling you this, that the new Black Panther Party is on the job. White society does not want to give us a break right now because we're Black nationalists. And we are not like our brothers and sisters in Black Lives Matter. As Black nationalists, we have refused to go down the integrationist route. And we believe that ultimately, honestly, that separation and a separate land and territory of our own is the ultimate solution for us to get justice. That's called taking a hard line. So since white press and the New York Times and the white media know that we take a hard line, they prefer to divert to Black Lives Matter. I've done and been seeing the new Black Panther Party do many demonstrations, and you will turn the news on and they will say Black Lives Matter had the demonstration when it wasn't even Black Lives Matter. I respect them, but what I'm trying to tell you is that taking a hard line is something that the white press doesn't want. Black Lives Matter is a great group, but they've been endorsed and co-opted by white society, and because it's an integrationist agenda, and for other reasons. So what we can do to strengthen this, brother, you come on in. We're going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, May 28th through 30th for the 100th anniversary of Black Wall Street. They're going to be 30 national self-defense groups that convene there on May 29th for a massive Second Amendment march that will let you know that as Black people, we do have an army. And that will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's a reparations and Black Power convention from the 28th through the 30th. Scholars will be there. Authors like myself will be there. And all of the top, really, revolutionaries in the country for the 100-year anniversary. My dear brother, Black nationalism is not dead. The vision of Marcus Mosiah Garvey is not dead. Malcolm X's vision is not dead. And quiet as is kept, the vision of the Honorable Dr. Comrade Huey P. Newton, and certainly Khalid Muhammad's vision is not dead. Well, we welcome you. We're not going to be given a boost by white society, but nevertheless, we are very much on the right road these days.
Attorney Shabazz, you spoiled it. I was wanting to say you're going to be speaking at the 100th anniversary, and you just got a chance to say it beforehand.
That's correct.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get to that.
Oklahoma.
Yes, I was trying to get to that. So, what motivates you to stand up for Afro descendants to get justice as a lawyer, as past chairman of the new Black Panther Party and a current attorney? What motivates you, sir?
I don't, you don't need much to, if you can't be motivated in today's racial environment, then you have an issue. As the head of Black Lawyers for Justice right now, my phone is ringing with cases of false arrest, police abuse, wrongful death, abuse of demonstrators. And when I see what police are doing out there every day, just that alone would be enough to motivate me every day, because I'm a lawyer and I have a charge. I'm not just a lawyer for accidents or other matters. I'm here as a lawyer to be a social engineer. So just as an attorney, that would motivate me enough alone. Now, what would motivate me enough to give my life for other causes is, once again, like for example, the new Black Panther Party. Where they say, why you want to be affiliated with the new Black Panther Party? I'm honored to be affiliated with the new Black Panther Party because I see the transformation of lives. I see my role there in the past and currently is that I help to transform gang members' lives. I help to transform lives of brothers that would have went left, and I'm helping them go right. It's a human factor that motivates me to stand up with the Panther Party, as well as it can operate politically. It can organize a self-defense movement. It can put radical pressure on society. Man, it's a lot to be motivated.
Yes,
I
sir.
think.
But we're going to take a break in a few minutes. We're going to take a break in a few minutes, and I want when we come back, I want you to see, because remember the 10-point system that the Black Panthers Party in the 60s had. Tell us a little about your objective for the new Black Panther Party, and are those still same 10 objectives that they had still in place now? So we're going to take a real quick break, but when we come back, Attorney Shabazz, I want you to tell us a little about the 10-point system and what point system you guys have. So after this break, we'll hear about that.
Black Holocaust Remembrance Day, Sunday, April 25th. Doors open, 1 p.m. Joe's Emporium and Culture Center, 3309 Bunker Hill Road, Mount Rainier, Maryland. Zoom access. Go to Najee Muhammad Facebook page. Scroll down to more. Click on link. Reparations. Guest speaker. Justice Nathaniel House, Illinois Appellate Court. Mecca Shabazz of the Afro-Descendant Nation calling forth ancestors. Salia Muhammad of the Afro-Descendant Youth Network. Keynote speaker. Afro-Descendant Nation Senate Chair, Senator Najee Muhammad. Address: America must fulfill its responsibility to Afro-descendants. America must pay reparations. Black Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Afrique Today TV presents, every Friday at 7 p.m., the voice of AAU, American Africans United. Host Dr. Yvette Butler Yaboa, MD, and co-host The Invisible Man. American Africans United is a membership organization, and our mission is to promote the idea that people of African descent have common interests, connected by citizenship, culture, and ancestry, and should be unified in our efforts to have and to build communities that are strong economically, politically, and socially. AAU's goal is to build bridges between African Americans, African immigrants, African Caribbean communities, the United States, and the African diaspora, so that all parts of the community can increase its capacity to have life and have it more abundantly. The voice of AAU, every Friday at 7 p.m. on Afrique Today. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, Afrique Today. Fogham, where you can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the Afrique Today app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
Well, welcome back, and let's get right into that 10-point system that they had for the Black Panthers in the early days. And one disclosure, I am from Oakland, born in Oaktown, and was very, very familiar, and many family members, older family members, were very, engaged and active. So I do miss some of those things that we had back then. So tell us about that 10-point system. And how is it? What do you guys have now?
Oh, got to get the sound, Pierre.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
I'm gonna get it right now.
Yeah, here we go. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
we can hear you.
No, you went out again.
Okay,
Can
the
can it
sound went out again.
always technical glitches, but they happen.
Hey, I can't.
Can you hear us?
Can you
Okay,
hear
we
us
can.
now?
I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear
Okay, we
you.
can hear you
Go
as
ahead.
well.
Okay.
You need the question
Okay.
repeated?
So the 10-point.
Oh,
I got the question.
yes, sir.
Question: the 10-point program of the Black Panther Party, October 15th, 1966, is rooted in the Nation of Islam program from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. Both programs, specifically the Black Panther Party program, calls for freedom and self-determination, calls for control of our education. It calls for an end to police brutality and establishment of all black men and women to be able to create militias or carry arms. It demands that black people be tried by a jury of their own peers. It speaks to a separate land and separate territory in point number 10. These are some of the core points of the Black Panther 10-point program. And also the Nation of Islam, where it comes from. Today, many of these points are still relevant, particularly the Panther Party point platform on police brutality. That actually is being fulfilled today. More and more police patrols are being instituted these days. More and more militias are coming about these days. We'll see that in Tulsa on May 29th. And the part about fighting police brutality is certainly at the top of the new Black Panther agenda. And it's being fought in the streets. It's also being fought in the courtroom. So, the times force us to fight on that battlefront. There's a lot of training and weapons training and militia going amongst all black organizations. That's going strong these days. And the reason why you don't see it in the media a lot is because a lot of groups don't trust the white media, so they're not letting the white man come in their camps and training camps and so forth. Reparations is going to be key in Tulsa. We're going to be calling for reparations. I want to thank the Honorable Silas Muhammad, who's been a lifetime fighter for reparations. And he's also written about in the Book of Khalid. In the Book of Khalid, when it's chapter, I think it's chapter 4, the nation is back. And other chapters dealing with Khalid Muhammad, the Honorable Silas Muhammad is given his credit for being an ally and a friend to Khalid Muhammad during his toughest times, as well as a key person in the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam, as well as Mr. Muhammad as a staunch stalwart for reparations. Reparations is on the agenda in Tulsa. So ma'am, it's police brutality. It's reparations. it's stopping the violence that is at the top of our agenda, and may not even go too far beyond that, because we got our hands full. Police brutality, stopping the violence, reparations, and inside police brutality, there's all kind of legal action and political action and self-defense action. There's a whole set of actions inside of that, and that's where we are. And on the 100th anniversary of Black Wall Street, we must understand right now that a lot of these things that I'm mentioning are not the ultimate solution. Lawsuits are great, but they're not the ultimate solution. Trying to prosecute killer cops are great, but not the ultimate solution. With that little bit of time they're getting, there's an ultimate solution to this, and it pertains to reparations, and it pertains to sovereignty, freedom, and independence. And that would be our overall goal in this hour. Standing on the foundation of the great 10-point platform of the Black Panther Party of the 60s. Ultimately, they said, even
Thank
in
you
their
so much.
point
Now
number 10, that they want.
Now, I would say you've mentioned Black Wall Street. Now, I do know about Black Wall Street, but a lot of our audience out here might not know. We have national and international platform. So a lot of folks don't know what Black Wall Street is. Could you tell us briefly what Black Wall Street is and what it was about? And also mention the
Black
Green Book.
Wall.
I ordered all the Green Books.
Yeah.
Okay, you mean by Muammar Gaddafi?
No, the
No,
green book is
I
what.
got that one too. But the Green Books, the
Go ahead.
Green Book that we used as Black Americans just to get around,
To travel.
to travel.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess we'll come back and talk about that. Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Black
Yes.
Wall Street symbolizes the tragic experiences that Black and African people have endured in America. In 1921, coming up on the end of May, marked the 100-year anniversary of the destruction of one of the greatest Black communities and Black economies that has ever existed anywhere on the earth at any time. Coming up out of antebellum slavery and coming up out of the Jim Crow South and the Night Rider South and the harsh conditions of segregation. By 1921, this little people, Black people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the Greenwood district, had become quite industrious. And they have formed their own economy, their own businesses, their own clothing companies, their own transportation companies, a whole slew of independent companies. And we were thriving for self, and Black banks, and the whole host of economic accomplishments. And it was a mecca for the Black economy and Black business people, and a model example for how we, in the spirit of Booker T. Washington, could come up from slavery, pulling ourselves up from our own bootstraps. But that town in 1921 was attacked by a white mob and attacked by envious, demonic, wicked white people who were jealous of the progress of Black people. And they ended up burning the whole town down, the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and burned our town down and burned many of our people. Pardon me, burned many of our people and murdered many of them at that time. And we come to remember that as one of the great tragedies of the Black or the African Holocaust. So you should Google it, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma, to learn our history and our Holocaust, because we paid a hell of a cost. And let no one say that Black people can't build. Let no one say that Black people can't do business. Let no one say that Black people, when they free of racism and intimidation and double dealing and tricks by white people, let no one say that we cannot do for self and succeed. And so we come together on the 100-year Black Wall Street because we must renew the spirit of economic independence. We must renew the spirit of self-determination and self-reliance, and of course, self-defense. Never again. I mean, there were many whites were killed in the Tulsa riots. Many more blacks were killed than whites. But we must say that many black men in 1921 stood up for self-defense and killed many white people in the streets of Tulsa as we stood up in the face of overwhelming odds of that black Holocaust of Black Wall Street.
And when you do the Black Wall Street, will there be an option for a Zoom option to tune in for our guest?
Yes. Once again, you can stay tuned to BlackPantherMovement.org. BlackPantherMovement.com will broadcast at my website at Black Lawyers for Justice. That's BlackRightsMatter.org. BlackRightsMatter.org. You can tune in. Then you will be able to see during this weekend all those things that Khalid Muhammad was upset about. All of those things that he preached hard about, they pretty much culminate in the history of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's the essence of our struggle here in the hills of North America, and it perfectly illustrates the horrific odds that we have faced to come this far.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
We got about 8 minutes. And the question I wanted to raise as we approach the Black Holocaust Remembrance Day is the destruction of our identity. I hear the term black, colored, Negro, African American. I'm not sure many people are aware that the term that the UN uses is Afro-descendant. Are you familiar with that? And could you address that, please, sir?
Yes, sir. You speak to our legal identity amongst the nations of the earth. And yes, I do agree that an appropriate legal term when we're handling our legal and political business, Afro-descendants, is who you can go to parts of South America and Central America. You ask them who they are, they'll tell you we are Afro-descendants. So that is a proper legal term, and hopefully these legal terms come more into play as we're able to litigate our way and diplomatically proceed in a way to let the world know that all of these killings and human rights violations by police against African Americans are part of a 400-year systematic pattern and practice of stripping us of our identity, our nationality. And I expect this term Afro-descendant to be used more often. I endorse it as a term. And of course, we understand culturally and even politically, we are black people. Black means color, culture, consciousness, and a connection to our creator, as I'm taught by Khalid Muhammad. Color, culture, consciousness, and our connection to our creator, meaning that black is our divine nature. Black is universal, and black, it means indigenous, and it inherits our color, our culture, our state of mind. And as we proceed on the official front before the United Nations or in our deliberations before the world, Afro-descendant is a term that aptly describes our people. There's no doubt about it. And long live those that have stood up for the Afro-descendant nation. I support the Afro-descendant nation of the Lost Found Nation of Islam. They're one of the most consistent entities that we have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know we have to wrap it up, but there's a few more questions we got to get to, especially with all this happening in our country right now. And as we sit here today, and right now, there might be another shooting and killing of another black man or woman, or even another poor brown kid at this time. I hope not, but the likelihood is possible. Do you think that what happened this week in the George Floyd case, do you think that justice was served? And give us your opinion. What are some of the results do you think is going to come out of this, if any?
I think some justice is served. To see Derek Chauvin convicted is some justice. I just don't think that the punishment really fits the crime, because ultimately he's going to do between 12 and 20 years, try to get time off. And, you know, he's allegedly a first-time offender. But we know that he's been choking people out for years, and he's very malicious and intentional and wicked in the way that he snuffed out the life of George Floyd. So, I mean, I'm happy he was convicted. I think the prosecution could have got a conviction on stronger charges. There ought to be special laws on the books that where a police officer gets more time when they commit egregious acts like that. More time, not less time. And so I'm happy, but I don't see a systematic solution here, because with all the attention on excessive force use of police officers, every day or so there's another case of excessive force. People are really just starting to see how bad this problem is. I mean, basically, we all knew the rule before videos came out.
Yes.
Get a hold of you when the police get a hold of you in the street, everybody knew that they were going to whoop your behind. I mean, whatever's going on, they were going to whoop your behind. They were going to be extra aggressive. They were going to take violent means to carry out their objectives. And now it's coming to light. But I mean, that's the way it is in America. And the question is whether legislation, there's a police reform bill coming up, whether legislation can reform the nature of policing, whether lawsuits and demonstrations and criminal prosecutions can turn around the nature of policing, or is it simply as is this? Is the nature of really the white police officer, is the nature of white and black in America as such that the white man cannot contain himself from using excessive force or killing black people, no matter what the law is? I'm getting to think that when it comes to interaction between black and white, that white officers are so hostile and they're so antagonistic to us by nature that no matter what law is in place, there's going to be somebody like Derek Chauvin. His emotions is going to run wild, and he is going to kill him, a black man in the field. I'm telling you, when white people get a hold of black people out there in the field, they have a very harsh nature to kill. As Khalid Muhammad teaches, that's the nature that Yaqub gave them, grafted them 6,600 or more years ago on the island of Pilar. That's the nature. There's going to be conflict between black and white as long as black and white are together. I'm sorry to give you this news. There's going to be conflict between black and white as long as black and white are together. And black must do as much as black can to love black self, educate black self, father our children, keep our babies away from these beasts. There's a lot of work to do and a lot to be excited about. I do it in the name of Khalid Muhammad.
Thank you so much. And you know, I'm one to tell people, let's go to the motherland. So I definitely want to take you with me to the motherland, Ghana. I will be there very soon. So I'm going to open my doors and welcome. So please come and visit.
I accept.
Well, you know, that's the only country on the continent. Well, it's not the only. It's the first country on the continent to actually welcome us back home as those here who were forcibly removed from our motherland. So they're the first ones to really do that. And they did that a couple of years back with the new president of Ghana to really welcome us back home. And I encourage all of you out there, if you haven't gone to the motherland, you need to really come home. And I say it like that, come home, because that is home. And we have a motto now of saying 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because that's what Africans who come from the continent always have. They have this 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so I'm trying to tell us African Americans, start thinking the same thing. We need to have 1 foot in, one foot out, and one of those feet should be planted firmly in the motherland. So I do have one other question, and then I want you to just, we'll wrap it up. And I want to thank you again for your time. But do you think this current administration is going to make any systemic change for racism in America? Because I know a lot of people don't want to get up and pack their bags and leave, but do you think anything's going to change?
I think but I think it won't go far enough for us. For example, they're trying to change the nature of policing right now with the bill. I think it's the George Floyd
That's
bill.
right.
And
Yes.
that perhaps could work a little, but we'll see what it looks like at the end of the day, because it's going to be subject to a political compromise with Republicans. So I think there'll be maybe some minor reforms in policing. I don't think the Biden administration has the ability or the capacity to fix racial relations in America. Racial relations in America is a result of deep entrenched 400 years of inequity and swindling and economic exploitation, and Biden may mean well. Kamala Harris, he has a black woman vice president. I mean, that's giving you a little symbolic reforms. I mean, they'll do some things. They'll appear to the people to be better than Donald Trump. But no, I don't expect the fundamentals of the system to change. We've been told by Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey a long time ago what is the nature of this system. And it just does not change. It just dramatically does not change. I mean, as I sit here right now in 2021, in late April, we can still say we're very happy that one white cop got convicted for killing a black man after all of the hell we've been through. And that's major, major, major news, that this one white man is going to get between 12 and 20 years for murder and so, because that's so major, just let you know how deep this problem is. This problem is going to be solved when our best and brightest minds and our leaders and come together and form a collective and common solution to our problem. We must have a plebiscite. We must have an agreement amongst leaders about which way are we going to go. And we must have a united front in our quest for self-determination. And we need a vote. We really, at a time, we need a plebiscite or a vote to decide our national status, our national will, and our national aims. I would hope to be part of such assembly.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I want to say, are there any last words or any other announcements you want to make? And I want to just thank you so very much for being on with us today. And especially when you are on the forefront for a lot of these killings and police brutality cases that are coming at us left and right. And you're there in Spotsylvania with the one in here in Virginia. So I want to thank you for giving us the time. And I want to tell everyone, please go out and buy the Book of Khalid. Please, if you haven't gotten it, do so. But I'm going to let my guests say, close it up, and then I'll say the last words. And I want to give you that opportunity. And thank you again for being with us tonight.
Can I make one final comment? I
Yes.
just want to say this is the Ancestors Weekend with Black Holocaust Remembrance Day. And so I'm just so happy to have somebody to talk to about it. And I hope our viewers can tune in. And that's it. And Pierre has done a great job today, so we got to give him a good hand. And the Afrique Today platform. Thank you so much.
All right. I want to conclude by thanking you, Sister Queen Butler, for having me on and for being such a gracious host. I do support Black Holocaust Remembrance Day, and I support Chief Minister Najee Muhammad of the Lost Foundation of Islam. I'm on the road right now, but I'm wishing you all well. I know that the Panther Party will be coming through to support you in Maryland, Mount Rainier, Maryland, this weekend. The new Black Panther Party. First of all, the Book of Khaled. Get the Book of Khaled Muhammad so you can know about your history and know about one of the greatest black men that's ever lived. That's at thebookofkhalid.com. The Book of Khalid, KHALLID.com. If you're interested in Attorney Shabazz and you want to know about this fight against police brutality, I'm on top of false arrest, excessive force, wrongful death cases all over America. BlackRightsMatter.org. BlackRightsMatter.org. I want to hear about your case of police brutality because I review all of them throughout America. Join the new Black Panther Party. BlackPantherMovement.org. BlackPantherMovement.org. Brothers and sisters from all walks of life across America are building inside of the new Black Panther Party. Those that believe in black nationalism and, of course, Pan-Africanism. All right? Thank you so much, and I appreciate both of you, and bless.
Thank you, sir.
All
No,
right.
thank you. 'Cause this has been our honor, and this is the prime weekend to really have Attorney Shabazz on because Black Holocaust is coming up, and also we have coming, 21st. I did not know it's 100. It's 100 years now for Black Wall Street. And if you don't know, as we said before, look up Black Wall Street. There's multiple videos and very short videos so you can understand what happened during that period of time. And not only when you look at that Black Wall Street, that happened across the country for Black communities that were thriving. They were destroyed. And so Black Wall Street was the most prominent and most respected and they had the most money in the entire nation to this day and possibly world of a Black community. So I do recommend you looking at that. But remember, that was only one in all the communities that were thriving. If you look across this country now, can we find a Black community of thriving individuals where we have our own? I don't think you can. And so without that, I want to thank everyone. I want everyone to go out there and think about how you can be part of a growing community. Also, remember, you can also join AAU to be part of this mission of our collective interest to pull together those of us of color. And also, as I said, if any of you are looking forward to going to Ghana or the motherland, remember, you can always email me because I want to take every last one of you home. Because once you go home, there's nothing like home, as they say. So I want to thank my co-host, Invisible Man. I want to also thank. Yes, thank you. I think I love today's show. It was a pleasure to have, honorable. I'm gonna call him Honorable Malik Shabazz with us today. And I also want to thank Afrique Today for hosting us and for all of our wonderful new commercials that you'll see. And audience, I want to thank my audience for being here with us every Friday. Remember, next Friday, we will have someone who's from United States who is relocated to Ghana many years ago. And she's the president of the American African Association in Ghana. She will be here to talk to you about just what it feels like to up and pack, move away, go to another place, and still have that 1 foot in and that 1 foot out, and show and have everyone, you can call and ask questions about how easy the transition is, but how important it is. Even if you can't make that transition, how important it is for every last one of you to at least step into the motherland and get the feeling of what home feels like and to feel appreciated as a Black person who's in the diaspora. So without that, I hope to see you next Friday. And thank you again, Afrique Today, AAU. We love you.
Afrique Today TV presents every Friday at 7 p.m. The Voice of AAU, American Africans United. Host Dr. Yvette Butler Yaboa, MD, and co-host The Invisible Man. American Africans United is a membership organization, and our mission is to promote the idea that people of African descent have common interests, connected by citizenship, culture, and ancestry, and should be unified in our efforts to have and to build communities that are strong economically, politically, and socially. AAU's goal is to build bridges between African Americans, African immigrants, African Caribbean communities in the United States, and the African diaspora, so that all parts of the community can increase its capacity to have life and have it more abundantly. The Voice of AAU, every Friday at 7 p.m. on Afrique Today. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
Black Holocaust Remembrance Day, Sunday, April 25th. Doors open, 1 p.m. Joe's Emporium and Culture Center, 3309 Bunker Hill Road, Mount Rainier, Maryland. Zoom access. Go to Najee Muhammad Facebook page. Scroll down to more. Click on link. Reparations. Guest speaker, Justice Nathaniel House, Illinois Appellate Court. Memphis Shabazz of the Afro-Descendant Nation calling forth ancestors. Salia Muhammad of the Afro-Descendant Youth Network. Keynote speaker, Afro-Descendant Nation Senate Chair, Senator Najee Muhammad. Address: America must fulfill its responsibility to Afro-descendants. America must pay reparations. Black Holocaust Remembrance Day.